Welcome to the Speak Pact podcast, where high-performing speakers and the producers who hire them merge to give you the insider secrets to the lucrative speaking industry. Antoniette Rose, your podcast host and celebrated speaker agent, unveils insider success strategies. Discover a nexus of thought leaders and bookers, maximizing your potential in each and every episode. Your ticket to ultimate speaking success begins right here. Catch the transformative insights waiting for you on the Speak Pact podcast, hosted by the industry powerhouse herself, Antoniette Rose.
Welcome back to Speak Pact. We're going to have some fun today. We have Larry Long Jr. in the house with us, and you're going to just get your pens and paper out. Get your pen and papers out because he is really going to take us through his journey from becoming a man with an idea to now a sought-after speaker who his voice and speaking is a major part of his business model, and he's doing fabulously at it. You just got back from Bali, is one of the places, right? Welcome, Larry.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy to be here on Speak Pact. I appreciate the invite, and this is going to be a great conversation.
It is, and I just know, I mean, you're so much fun and so full of wisdom and so generous with your wisdom. So I'm excited to jump in.
Let's roll.
But let's tell a little bit about you. You are the CEO, Chief Energy Officer. And you
watch out now. It's electric. It's electric.
You come with the energy. No shortage of that. That's amazing. You're going to start out my week fabulously. Of LLJR Enterprises. Larry Long Jr. Enterprises. So really, really great. I'd like to know if that includes a back end, like if there's something outside of speaking that you lead people to. So we'll dive into that in a little bit. I know you focus on motivation, inspiration, and most importantly, transformation, right? And so what brought you down this journey? I really want to hear about how it came from just kind of an idea to where it's become now. You have your own show, midweek, midday motivational minute.
Yes, that's a lot of M's.
I want to say that after a glass of wine. Midweek, midday motivational minute. Midweek, midday motivational minute. So much fun. And you're author of the celebrated book called Jolt. There we go. Jolt, bring in that, get zapped into intentionality, rediscover and believe your inner greatness. And I think our self-talk is so against us most of the time when we don't even realize it. So you really bring that out in people. So welcome. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you. I appreciate the warm welcome. I appreciate the kind intro, and I'm excited to share with your viewers and listeners.
So tell me about the early beginnings. Like what got you on stage to begin with?
I know you won't believe this, but in elementary, middle, and high school, I used to get sent to detention for talking. I know you're like, no way, Larry. I can't believe it. Now
she must have been out of her mind, right, to think of that of you.
I have the opportunity to speak and serve, and it all started back in 2018. A colleague of mine, we were having coffee. I don't even drink coffee. I might explode, but I told him I wanted to speak for a living. And he said, hey, let me connect you with Dr. Kevin Schneider, who wrote a book called Paid to Speak. So I met Dr. Schneider, and he didn't say this, but I'm a mind reader. He said, Larry, respectfully, are you stupid or are you dumb? Because I told him that I spoke to corporate audiences and my fee was free $99. He said, Larry, I can understand when you speak to little leaguers. I played baseball at University of Maryland, go Terps. He said, I can understand when you speak to little leaguers not to charge them. But when I speak corporate, there's a few zeros after that first number. You're just giving it away for free. You're messing up my groove. Well, I said, hey, do you, boo-boo? I have a full-time job. I don't want to bop anyone over the head. And he said, hey, when you want to turn your little hobby into a business, give me a call.
Mhm.
Fast forward to it was December of
That's tough
2019.
love right there.
It was, but I wasn't ready. I loved helping and serving and impacting people without making income. But in December 2019, my wife said, "Hey, baby, you tell everyone else to follow their dream, to pursue their passion. Look in the mirror. You're not happy." I was in corporate America. I put on a smiling face, but I wasn't living in my gifting. So I
Yeah.
called Dr. Schneider, bring, picked up that 500-pound phone, and I said, "Hey, I'm not stupid or dumb anymore." Got into his program, and I had my first paid engagement on March 17th of 2020. Now, I don't know if you can
How the
rewind
heck
back.
did you, right? That was like the worst time to get into this industry. Tell us how you did it.
It was the best time. I had a company that said, "Hey, we want you to speak to our sales professionals. Can you do it?" I said, "Yes." Well, little did we know that Friday the 13th was when COVID was going to shut down our offices. And they said, "Hey, we still want you, but can you do it virtually?" I said, "Zoom, Zoom." So I had my first engagement. That was St. Patrick's Day. And they pitched me because I'm not Irish. I wasn't wearing green, but that was all she wrote. And
You
funny
mean you don't
story,
have a green wig? Because I've seen some of your other fun ones.
I stepped my game up since. Can you hear me now? But they said, "Send us your invoice." I said, "Larry Long Jr. ain't got no invoice." So I had to go to Google and find a generic invoice. It had like a little boat, like a little dinghy as the logo. I said that. I know they were like, "Who is this jackleg clown?" They said, "We need your W-9." I said, "WTF? What you talking about, Willis? I don't have a W-9." They said, "Go to the IRS website, fill out the form, or we can't pay you." I sent it to them. They said the check will be electronically deposited into your account. I said, "Oh, can I
Whole
keep
new
sending y'all
world, right?
W-9s?" And y'all keep sending me that. They brought me back 4 additional times.
Nice. Oh my goodness, that is nice. So you went from no fee dot 00 to a fee. What was that fee you started off with at that?
$500.
Oh
And
my
I couldn't
goodness.
believe, because before that, folks would give me a gift card, a Coke and a smile, a pat on the back, and I was okay with it. But to receive $500, I said, "Can I keep sending y'all W-9s and y'all keep electronically depositing $500?" They brought me back and they kept electronically deposited. I said, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah. So how did you go from that during a very tumultuous time for all of us to the next engagement and the next engagement, and now you're on stages all over the world? So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that evolution of Larry Long Jr.
Yeah, well, it was a matter of sharing with folks what I was doing. And I had speaking engagements before, but like I said, they were never paid. And what I learned is that, "Larry, you should say yes, and my fee is XYZ." And when I started doing that, folks started saying, "Hmm, okay, hmm, okay." And as I continued to increase my fee, folks continued to say, "Hmm, okay." So that's been my experience. And not everyone says okay. I'm not for everyone. Not everyone has the budget for me, but that's okay. I'm still focused on making positive impact, helping folks. And by folks, I mean software sales professionals and leaders, and then folks that are business professionals that go to association events with a little bit of colleges and universities. That's a little piece of my speaker mix, but it just, the momentum. People see me speaking for this publicly traded company. "Hey, Larry, can you come in and speak to our sales org? Can you give us some of that energy that you gave them?" Why, yes, I can. And my fee is, and that was
Mhm.
the key
Yes,
part.
I can. And there you guys go. Yes, I can. And right. Not let me apologize for letting you know I have a fee.
That's
It's
right.
yes. And as a matter of fact, I can do it for ABC. Well, I love your journey. I'd like to dive in a moment. I'd like to dive into how did you find your voice? Like, how did you find your message that is now really landing? How did you find your audience? Right. I want to talk about that in a moment. Did the book come first? Did it come second? Like, let's talk about in the moment. But first, I want to see if you had this experience. So you went from no fee to very, very, very low fee to then as you really started. Every speaking engagement is a data collector, right? You're really tapping into your own voice, what people are leaning into, what people are willing to pay for. So you're collecting that data all along, and then you're like, I need to be charging more, right? Have you found, since you have been charging more, you're getting taken more seriously? You're actually not losing engagements because you're not charging, which, as the event organizer, and I'm tasked with a job to find a powerful speaker within my budget. If you're not charging enough, there's a lot of question marks there. Well, why isn't he charging? He must not be very good, or he must not be very experienced, right? So I think you're probably getting more engagements because it's counterintuitive, but that's the perception. That's a human perception. And when I have a job tasked with bringing in the right speaker, I don't want a free speaker. I have this $10,000 budget that I need to do the most with, and there must be something wrong, right? If you're $500. So as you were stepping into your pricing, are you finding that you are getting higher quality engagements and more engagements? Tell me a little bit about that part. And then I want to dive into how you found your voice.
Yeah, well, it was really, you said data collection. It was a learning experience. And I've been on an adventure, a fantastic voyage mixed with some misadventure as well. And the psychology of pricing, the psychology of your value. I've been battling that voice that tells me, Larry, who do you think you are charging people $10,000 to hear you speak? You ain't all that. But then the voice of my father comes and uplifts me and says, you've worked hard for this. You have a message that's powerful, that's transformational, that if people follow the instructions that you provide them, will be a game changer in their life, both personally and professionally. When value is given, value is received. So it's been a journey, and it hasn't been easy to get my mind right around what my full value is, as well as what it will be. My topic started off as sales. Sales is not a four-letter word, was my signature keynote. That's still my keynote, but I can tell you that my signature keynote is my Jolt program, and I've fallen into a leveraging LinkedIn to land your dream job, to win your dream client, to book more speaking engagements. I've fallen into the LinkedIn signature keynote as well. Folks said, Larry, we see what you're doing on LinkedIn. You're a LinkedIn influencer. You've got a great community. You're getting paid engagements. Can you teach us how to do that as well? Well, sure. I would love to. So those are the three lanes that I fall into now: sales, leadership and personal development and growth, and then LinkedIn.
And it wasn't overnight. You didn't wake up and, hey, this is who Larry Long Jr. is. And I'm going to step right into that. It was really getting your voice out there and finding those talents and those superpowers within yourself to be able to communicate those, right? And then finding what people were hungry for. I love that you leverage LinkedIn. I think it's one of the probably the most understood, misunderstood, powerful platforms for high performing professionals, especially those professionals that want to get their voice out there. So let's tap into that in a moment. But when you talked about the psychology of pricing, and it is exactly that. Your dad on your other shoulder is exactly right? Nobody's paying for your hour. Nobody's even paying for your day. They're paying for what made Larry Long Jr.
Yeah, well, it's expertise and experiences. And my experience, life experiences, business experiences have really set the stage for my expertise to be a difference maker in people's lives, specifically sales, but also business professionals. So I've really been fortunate, been blessed for those experiences, for the ability to communicate the lessons learned as well as the lessons earned. And oftentimes, the biggest lessons are from those quote unquote failures. I don't consider those failures anymore. those strikeouts, and I played baseball in college at University of Maryland, go Terps. Those strikeouts are data points, as you said, to learn what not to do in the future. And for me, it's my opportunity to give back, to share with other people, hey, I zigged when I should have zagged. So I'm going to encourage you to zag and not zig and hit that brick wall. So it's the expertise, it's the eloquence of being able to provide a message that resonates and connects and actually encourages action. Because I'll be honest with you, I am a voracious note taker. This is my notebook right here. I take a lot of notes. But notes and knowledge without action is nothing. It's nothing. So how do you get an audience to take action and actually reap the benefits of the stories you're telling, the lessons you're sharing? That's really where my gifting has been.
Oh, you said so much goodness there. So, first of all, I will just concur that more home runs are hit with pink bats. I'm just saying, pink baseball bats. And if you're listening to this audio only, you need to hop on over to YouTube because Larry is lots of fun to see your props.
I'm funny looking.
This is fun. When you said that line about you can have a hope and a dream, but without action, you said this in your own beautiful words, but without action, it's really just a hope and a dream, right? You're really not going to get anywhere. I think there's a lot of speakers who come into this with that mentality. Sadly, because we deal with really high performers, so they have paid their dues. They've been out there making their place professionally, and they just underestimate how difficult it is to then, kind of step on over to getting those curated solutions out to the public and becoming an in-demand speaker. Somehow you figured that out. Somehow early on you knew you were willing to pay your dues all over again, right? And forging your brand and forging your way as a speaker. What was it inside of you who knew, I can get agents, I can get bureaus, I can get all the courses, I can get all the advice, but at the end of the day, they're all partners. They're all my partners. None of them are going to be the true driver behind my career. I'm going to have to actively participate in that. How did you get that coming right into this?
I don't know if you remember Clubhouse, but
Oh,
back during
yes.
the pandemic, there was the audio only app,
Yep.
and it was really my community. I was able to tap into the professional speaker community of NSA, National Speaker Association, and Lois Kramer, Tom Singer, RJ. They were professional speakers that assisted me along the way and helped me along the way. And really, they provided me with guidance. They provided me with insights. It was absolutely amazing. So that community, those connections, the collaboration and guidance, and then me just being I grew up playing sports my entire life, team sports. I've always been coached and I've been very coachable. I've always been open to feedback and open to ideas of how I can be successful. I took that and I ran, and I haven't looked back since. So I encourage your listeners, who are your professional speaker friends? Who are your partners? While also realizing you've got to do the work. No one can sell you better than you can sell you. That's what I found.
That is so true. If you go into it knowing that, right? These mentors, coaches, promoters, right? They are all going to, a 3-strand cord is way stronger than a 1 or an even 2-strand cord, right? When we come together and those forces come together, you're just going to, your career is going to go a whole lot further, a whole lot higher, a whole lot faster. So I love that you got that early on. I mean, honestly, to look at your career now, number one, it doesn't feel just 3 or 4 years old. Number two, you'd never think that you started the journey during the time everything closed down for speaker, right? It was not the time to really start that journey, but you did it. I will tell you a little secret. I miss those clubhouse days. I miss what it was. I would never want to spend the number of hours I spent in it back in those days, but it was a really amazing and powerful platform. And just like MTV, you're younger than me. I don't even know if you remember MTV, but it was fabulous. And then all of a sudden they messed with what was working and they ruined it. In my humble 80s opinion, the MTV of the 80s was nothing like the MTV of the 90s. And I think that Clubhouse did the same thing, right? It was a really powerful platform for people of like mind who wanted to come together and give generously and speak into each other. And then I don't know, they got too fancy and ruined the whole thing. So, so let's talk a little bit about how you discovered the power of LinkedIn and how you help your clients or those who you influence the best way for a professional, because that's who we're dealing with, to now shift their narrative, shift their focus on LinkedIn to organically attract some of those high value engagements.
Yeah, well, being in software sales, we leveraged LinkedIn to get in front of our prospects, to connect, to stay connected with clients, to ask for referrals. And when I shifted from selling software to selling myself, I said, wow, I've already got a brand. Let me parlay my brand as someone who can support organizations, individuals with taking their level to the next level. Wherever you are, I can get you to that next level.
Amen.
And LinkedIn, I mean, it accounts for 91% of my business inbound. I publish content almost daily, but really the benefit, the most benefit has come from the one-to-one interaction. Just like you and I are having this conversation right now, one-to-one, with also one-to-many, I connect with folks on an individual basis because we're in a relationship business and we're in a sales business. I know that our job is to serve and speak, but there's really a three-legged stool, I guess you could say. You've got to sell and market yourself. You've got to prepare your programs, and then you've got to deliver them. And if you're not doing all three, what I found is you're going to have a tough time to create a sustainable, a scalable business, which is my goal. LinkedIn, I'm sorry, someone's knocking at my door. Who is it? Oh, that's opportunity. Opportunity is knocking on LinkedIn for all of us to leverage, to put out our thought leadership, to show if someone wants a speaker, they want to see you speak. I've done a live show, my midweek, midday motivational minute. I'm coming up on episode number 233. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern, I go live so people can see this is what you get when you bring Larry Long Jr. You get high energy. You get great content. You get someone who doesn't talk about they care, but they show that they care by building this community.
It's your
by
brand,
giving knowledge.
your archetype. Yep.
Yeah, and it's funny how you talk about archetypes because I'm preparing a LinkedIn free webinar for folks that attended the Global Speaker Summit. And there's folks that are cheerleaders. They're on the sideline. They're cheering everyone else on, but they're not putting their word out there. That's okay, but you're only going to get the results that a cheerleader is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm the community connector. I'm essentially making sure that I'm making connections, that I'm serving people, that I'm showing them that I care. You have the contenter, the person who puts out content but doesn't engage, which is good, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And I think for the folks that are listening to this, you want to be great. And in order to be great, you have to do those things that everyone can do, but that most people don't do.
Ooh, do everything everyone can do. Everyone meaning these emerging voices, these emerging speakers, but don't do or give up short of. Some of them might get out there and do some massive action, but it's that whole tortoise and the hare, right? Are you going to stick with it? Golly, I mean, we all know Tony Robbins, love him. Whether you're a fan or not a fan doesn't matter. It's undeniable how much he has affected millions of people, right? Countless people. It took him 10 years of trying to figure it out to actually getting. What if he would have given up at year 9, right? That's very collapsible right now with the right guidance and the right people to come alongside of you. But I see speakers who, within their first 6 months, give up because it hasn't happened for them. And I really think something you really had on your side, Larry, is you understood sales.
Yeah.
And you said pre us getting going live, you said something to the effect of, maybe it was during this talk, sales is not a 4-letter word, right? You understood that, but that's a hurdle for a lot of people who maybe don't have that background. They have to get over. And you knew right away that, okay, you're no longer selling software, but now you got to sell Larry Long Jr. I think that was really to your advantage to understand that up front.
Big time. And I'm going to add 4 things from what you just said. In sales, you have to understand, what problems do you solve? People pay to get their problems solved.
Mm-hmm.
In sales and in life and in relationships, it's B2B, not business to business, but belly to belly.
I
Are
love
you
it.
or are you reaching out, picking up that 400, 500-pound phone and talking to folks and understanding what issues they're going through? Giving up. There's a book that my coach, and I don't know how many of these high performers work with coaches, strongly encourage it. My coach shared a book with me called 3 Feet from Gold. And the story talked about how oftentimes folks give up when they're right around the corner from that goal that they've been shooting for.
Yeah.
A good colleague of mine, he's part of the $1 Million Speakers Group, Ryan Vett. He runs a speaker association for dental speakers. He said, Larry, we've done a survey, and what it's shown, most speakers take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to really ramp up and hit their stride. So he said, he tells folks, if you're not in it for the long haul, I would just encourage you, don't even get started, because it's going to be a grind over the years. You might get lucky. You might strike gold, but most speakers are going to have to grind and learn and figure this out and plant a whole lot of seeds that might not come to fruition for years. Massive action and consistency is critical and key. We know this, but sometimes knowing isn't doing. I want to give one example of what folks can do right now that will be a game changer. On LinkedIn Mobile, you can send someone a written message. That's what everyone does. You can also send an audio message. I do that when I'm driving. I go ahead and hit the little audio clip and I let people hear my voice. But this is the difference maker, and everyone can do it. You can send a video message straight from your phone. If you have a smartphone, put it on selfie video, go ahead and leave a message and reach out and let people know. I'll give you an example of what my message looks like. Here goes exactly the blueprint that I use. Hold up. Can you hear me now? Is my microphone on this marvelous Monday? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm reaching out because I know that you're planning your sales kickoff for 2025. And I know that most organizations want to make sure they bring the energy. Well, I might know somebody, and I think they go by CEO, Chief Energy Officer, who can help you with the energy of your sales kickoff. If it makes sense for us to have a conversation, I'll include my shared calendar link. And either way, wishing you all the best, continued success. Roll Tide. I saw that you are a University of Alabama alum. Roll Tide. Bye for now. Peace. That's my message. I've done my research. I explained to them why I'm calling them now, and then I'm giving them a call to action. We know this, and I know some of your listeners are like, "Oh, that's good. They're taking notes." But I can count on one hand and probably 3 fingers the number of people who will actually do it. Will it be you? That is the
And
question.
how can you not respond to that? First of all, you took the moment to check them out, and they know that. You took the moment to bring you right to the video or even the audio, depending on what, and just your infectious personality, right? That get to have just a quick taste of that, which definitely is going to translate into when they bring you into their audience. And even if they have no need for you, right? You have left a mark on their brain, And somebody's going to come along. Hey, we have the sales kickoff coming up. Really need to bring somebody in. Do you happen to know if, well, I do. Somebody just reached out to me. So that 10,000-pound phone is now no longer a phone most of the time. It can be, but LinkedIn can be your quote unquote phone, which is so
Yeah,
incredibly
and
powerful.
we did an exercise, and I'll share this because I'm an open book. When you're selling and marketing yourself, there are so many different ways. And pardon my chicken scratch, but I'll just tell you, you can call, you can email, you can be on podcasts, you can host your own podcast, you can write handwritten notes. Do you think that that's impactful? When was the last time you got a handwritten note that was thoughtfully and intentionally crafted for you? Radio, conferences, attend meetings, referrals and references, recommendations, thought leadership, speaking on stage. They call it spin the win. Most times when I speak, if my message hits the target, I'm going to get other engagements from that. And there's a tool called Talkadot. Let them know that I sent you. But Talkadot is one of the most fantastic tools for professional speakers to capture feedback as well as to capture leads of folks that want to book you for future events. You can write your own book. You can publish content, have a blog. You can create community. You can be a part of communities. These are all avenues to get in front of your target for more paid speaking engagements. Unfortunately, a lot of times people hide behind email and then they say it's not working and they just give up. I would try each and every one of these avenues for the long haul, and you'll start to see what's going to work well for you. For me, it's LinkedIn. My website, I don't do paid AdWords, but some people do, and they have success with it. I don't have my own podcast. I used to, not anymore, but I guest on other shows. So figure out what works best for you, but you got to do something.
Yes, I think your key message through here is get findable, right? Stop being the best kept secret and make yourself known. I love that you have your book Jolt. I've seen another strategy where you do your homework, you put a personalized note in there in a bookmark or actually sign it, send it to the sales manager or whoever it is that you're targeting and say, hey, I'm going to reach out to you through LinkedIn next week, but I just wanted to send this ahead of time so you know a little bit about who I am. Right, whatever it might
That's
be, whatever your personality is. There's so many things that you can do. And I love, Larry, that you said this because I say it, but as a speaker agent, it doesn't always flow as well as when an actual seasoned speaker says it. Yes, it can take, it doesn't always have to, but definitely to get those consistent $20,000 engagements and more, there's there's a runway, right? There's a ramp onto that. And if you're not fully vetted in yourself, if you're not fully, I guess, invested in yourself and your own career, and you're putting it on the shoulders of other people, other places, then your chances of really succeeding goes way down. I use this example. Think about, let's just say, please don't do this because I'm not a big lover of McDonald's, but I don't want to, throw them under the bus. Some people like them. But let's say you got a fast food chain restaurant. When you buy those franchises, they tell you, it's a million, whatever up front, and don't expect to turn a profit for 4 to sometimes 6 years. Right. And why do we not equate that to one of the most lucrative, the most amazing lifestyle careers in the world? And that is speaking. For some reason, we just think it should just be kind of handed to us and we don't have to feel the pain at all. There's a little bit of pain up front, but it's also an incredible journey, which you've made it all kinds of fun.
Having an absolute blast. I think they say folks like to work with and buy from people they know, they like, they trust, and believe in. And I think it's my duty to make sure people know me, like me, trust me, believe me, and that they share that. I have over 300 and I think I'm at 308 recommendations on LinkedIn. That's called social proof. Kind of like Mickey D's, 1 billion burgers sold. Well, Larry served over 300 folks, so that a meeting planner, an event planner, doesn't have to worry about the risk of, is Larry going to embarrass me? Am I going to lose my job for booking Larry? No, Larry is vetted. Larry is the real deal. And Larry comes highly referred and recommended. So that's just something to think about there, your social proof. Also with the LinkedIn messages, video, audio, as well as funny GIFs. Show your human element. There is a saying, and you can help me out. It's not what you know, but the traditional saying says it's not what you know,
Who?
it's who you know. In my Steve Harvey Family Feud voice, survey says, nah, it's not what you know, it's not even who you know. It's who knows you, who likes you, who trusts you, and who believes in you that really makes this thing happen in order to rock in the mic.
Mm,
That's been my experience right there.
yes, so strong. Okay. Couple more questions for you before we wrap, but I know at this stage there are plenty of the Speak Packed audience who wants to know what are the best ways to kind of capture more of what you have to offer. How do you like people to reach out to you?
Yeah. To reach out to
Yes, how to
me?
find you, how to reach out to you.
LinkedIn, Larry Long Jr., you'll probably hear me before you see me. But please, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I've got a YouTube page. I got a website, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social, TikTok, even though I don't dance. I would love to connect with each and every one of you. My encouragement for you as a speaker, speakers speak. And when you speak, I encourage you to get video, to get pictures, to get video testimonials, to get written
Yes.
testimonials, to ask for references. And I know that sometimes it can feel like I don't want to ask. Well, you better get over it. My coach said, and I wasn't healthy at the time, but this is powerful, and listen closely. My coach said, healthy people ask for exactly what they
Ooh,
want.
healthy people ask for exactly what they want.
Mic drop moment.
Yes.
Come on
Yes.
now.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. And your, I want to get this right, midday motivational minutes. Do those go live on LinkedIn and YouTube? Where can people find those?
I go live every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and then Instagram as
Yep.
well. I'm on the gram. So we've built a community. Folks join live. Folks, I've had folks say, Larry, when I'm in a bad mood, I go ahead and batch up a bunch of episodes. I'm like, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, but we've really built something special because of the community. I'm just the messenger. I started off, it was April 22nd of 2020 with a message, a good high school friend of mine. I was supporting her. I purchased a shirt of her movement. It was called Say Yes to You. We were in the pandemic. There was a lot of negativity. And I just shared, what does Say Yes to You mean to me? Take care of your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. When there's chaos and turbulence, make sure you take care of you and fill your cup to overflow so you can fill into other people's cup. And people liked it. So I did it a second time and a third time. And lo and behold, we're now at 230 plus episodes every Wednesday. We did it from Bali. I was just in Ocean City, Maryland. I've done it from Chicago. I've done it from a cruise ship. I've done it from all over the world, the midday motivational.
Well, you are striking a chord, otherwise you wouldn't be invited to all of these fabulous places and get paid what you get paid and have created such a large audience. So tell me a little bit about how did you find it? You were a salesman of software. How did you find your own voice that you could really step into and enjoy and resonate with an audience? Like, how did you find that?
Yeah, trial and error and somewhat by accident. I mean, my original keynote, sales is not a 4-letter word. I had experience. My sales reps were generally newer in career, fresh out of college, and they didn't want to tell people I'm a sales professional. They're like, oh, I'm a consultant. No, you're a sales professional. And that's something to be proud of because for me, sales is about serving.
Mm.
It's about guiding. It's about connecting. It's about playing matchmaker. It's about solving people's problems. That's what sales is about. Now, sales gets a bad rap because you have some bad characters, some used car sales reps ready to do a deal. But I found that I took a stance and said, that's not what sales is all about. That's scams right there. When you try to sell ice to an Eskimo doesn't need ice. But if I ask the right questions and I truly care and I listen, I can find out what that Eskimo might need.
And solve a
So essentially, I
problem.
took a stand, I shared that stand, and it resonated with folks, and I just kept that momentum going. We all have a voice. Find your voice. Don't be afraid to take a stand, because I realize I'm not for everyone. And what I've heard is if you're for everyone, you're really for no one. There's some people that don't like positive energy. They don't like my energy that I smile all the time. They're like, this guy is fake. Well, that's okay. Do you, boo-boo? But for those people that get down with what Larry Long Jr. is putting down, we have a good time and we're making impact. So I would encourage you. What's your why? I'm no Simon Sinek, but why do you want to use your voice? What problems do you want to solve? Who do you want to help? Be crystal clear in your mind with what that is. And I would encourage you, don't just say everyone. I hear that all the time. Yeah, your message might be universal, but who specifically? For me, I want to help Black and brown youngsters that look like me, that move in the business professionals, and they look and say, am I the only one? Can I have success? I don't look like anyone else around me. Can I be successful? Yes, you can. And yes, you will. And I'm going to give you the jolt to take action so that you can make sure that you give yourself the best percentage chance to have success. That's why I do what I do. Impact over income. And I'll say impact and income is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's my encouragement. Find your voice, find your message, and do you, boo-boo.
So much beauty there. So much beauty there. And what I also heard you say, so yeah, as you're developing this, as you're really figuring this out, what I see that you did was you just started. You just got your voice out there. And again, you were collecting the data. It was so often we want to get everything perfect first and then sell the thing, right? Paralysis analysis, or analysis paralysis, however they say it. If you don't start, you don't get to where you are in a few short years, right?
That's right. So someone out there right now is noodling.
Noodling.
And I was that noodler. On your mark, get set,
go.
I'm not sponsored by Nike yet. If you hear me, Nike, come on now. But like Nike said, just do it. I'll give you a quick example. I didn't want to update my LinkedIn until I have my website ready. And my coach said, Larry, if we're going to wait until you have your website and your speaker one pager and your speaker reel, this was back in 2020. She said, we're going to be waiting until 2026. And she was right. Go. You don't need all of that to speak. Now, eventually you want to build up your digital assets, but right now and I'll give you a mic, that's all you need. You bring the message, you bring yourself, that's all you need to start off with. You can build as you go. It makes it a lot funner. I'm making up words because I'm building the plane as I'm flying. Shrapnel flying everywhere. I mean, it is in the words of that great philosopher, J.J. Walker, it is dynamite, but it makes for a whole lot of
we might be closer in age. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is embrace that it may not land. Like, be okay with maybe figuring out what doesn't work. That's part of the process, right? Some audiences are just going to love you for life, and some are going to go ho-hum. That's okay. You need to know that. So, yes, so much goodness. Okay. You know our signature ending question. And I love, Larry, however it was that you found that courage and that drive to get your voice out there at all costs, right? No other alternative. You're going to get your voice out there, and look at the fruit of that, what that's done for your life. Now, how can that person who's out there noodling, what are some first steps that they can take to get up and go?
Yeah. Here goes some thoughts, and I'm coming off the top. Take one sheet of paper and map out a game plan. Just one sheet, not front and back, just one sheet. Map out a game plan. Once you map out the game plan of where you're going, how you think you're going to get there, who are your allies, take action. Take that first step. Then take that second step. A good mentor of mine, Dr. Willie Jolly, says sometimes you have to lean on someone else's belief in you until yours kicks in. I'm here to give you my belief in you. Yes, you. My belief in you until yours kicks in. So let's go and let's get it and let's serve. But it starts with you taking action. Chapter number 2 of my book, Strikeouts, They're a Part of Life. It happens. We're going to be successful, and we're also going to have failures. You're going to live, you're going to laugh, and hopefully you're going to learn. So I encourage you to go. Stop noodling. Go right now. Have a plan, but realize that plan is just a guide. It was all a dream. It's going to change as you go, but so often people don't go, and they're like, this isn't working. You haven't done anything. Go ahead. You're up to bat. I'm calling your number right now. You've got to swing. You got to swing. Get the bat off your shoulders. Let's go. That's my biggest advice.
Okay, so create a plan of action and then take action, right? You can crumple up that sheet of paper and throw it away and create a whole new one once you get out there and realize, that was a poor plan of action, but at least it spurred you to action. So
Yes.
good. You gave us so much today, Larry Long Jr., and I really know that transformation has happened today. So thank you for being on this journey with me to help get the message out there, to be on this pact to create greater impact with the power of our voice. Do not hold back. And that's something probably not even in your vocabulary is holding back.
I love it. Thank you for hosting me on Speak Pact, and wishing all of your listeners, all your viewers, all the best, continued success, and let us know if we can ever assist.
Yes, absolutely. And the way you can tell Larry thank you and spread the love, right, is to post this forward. Yeah, I know that you have some actionable steps that you can make. Give that to other people as well by sharing this episode, whether you found it in video or audio. Share it forward, because the more generous you are, the more generosity that's going to come back to you. Yes. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you so much, Larry. You were so much fun.
Thank you.
Ciao,
Bye
ciao
now.
for now.
Thank you for listening to the Speak Pact podcast. To become a recommended speaker of Antoniette's WPC speaker agency, or you are a host or planner looking for a dynamic expert in optimized performance, Antoniette would like to personally meet with you. Secure a time with her at speakerbooker.com. Again, that is speakerbooker.com. It all begins with a vision, a voice, and a pact to impact. Join the Speak Pact movement by joining our new private Facebook group at the link in our show notes. Find us on nearly every social media platform at One Antoniette. That's number 1, ANTONIETTE, or simply #SpeakPact.